In this video, I'm going to show you how to make 3 dangly Christmas tree decorations, and they're all made out of milk carton tops. You simply need 3 of them for each one. So how about a Father Christmas, a snowman, or Rudolf? Take your pick. I'm Christine of Christine's Crafts, and this channel is dedicated to crafting on a budget. So what are you going to need to make yours? Well, you're going to need these templates. Now, they're freely available on christinescrafts.com. The link's below the video, so you can simply go along and download them and print them off for you to use. So once you've got those, what else will you need? You're going to need some milk carton tops. You only need 3 for each one, and it doesn't matter what colour they are, you can paint them. So just make sure you've got 3 for every single one you want to make. You're going to need some scissors and some glue. I recommend a multi-purpose glue. You're going to need some ribbon to build them on and to hang them from. Pipe cleaners. So you're going to need a red one for Father Christmas if you're building him, and you're going to need a brown one for Rudolf if you're making a Rudolf. And some optional extras. You might want to put some googly eyes on. You don't need them, but if you like them, you can do. And you might want to put some pom-poms or buttons on for the snowman's buttons, for people's eyes, Rudolph's nose, but that's an optional extra. So I'm going to split this into 3. I'm going to make each one. So to start with, we're going to make the snowman. So you need to take your 3 carton tops and paint them. Now I used acrylic paint and painted mine red, white and brown. So that's for all 3. So if you're only making the snowman, you only need the white ones. If you're only making the Father Christmas, just the red and brown for Rudolph. So the snowman, you need to cut out all the bits on the template. Now they are a little bit fiddly, they are small. So if you've got very young children making these, you probably want to cut them out for them. But older children will manage just fine. And you're going to need a whole set of these for each one you make. So if you've got a group of children, be prepared. You're going to need one for every single one. So once you've cut them all out, you're ready to get making. So you're going to need to decide on your ribbon. It doesn't matter how wide your ribbon is, that's entirely up to you. I'm using a narrow one here. And you're going to place your tops quite close together. So measure the ribbon so that it runs the length of the 3 tops. And there's enough to form a loop the size you want it to go over your hook or your branch of your Christmas tree or wherever you're hoping to put them. So be quite generous with your loop. You can always cut some ribbon off later if you've been a bit over generous. So once you've decided on the length, cut your ribbon and we can start building your snowman. Now what you will find is you'll get glue on your table, so I recommend a piece of paper or something similar to protect your work surface. And you need to apply some glue to the back of one of your milk carton tops, just on the edge there, and then directly opposite it. This will be sufficient to hold it onto your ribbon, trust me. So either directly opposite, and then you need to place that on the ribbon near one end. So place your ribbon down and then place your milk carton top on it. If you're not happy, just have another go and get it so that you are happy. Bit of a wriggle and press it firmly on. And then you need to position the next one, the middle one. So repeat the process for the glue and then place it on the ribbon. Now I'm leaving a small gap between mine. And it really is a small gap. You could push them up close together, or you can leave a little bit bigger gap. It's up to you. And then once you've got all 3 on, you'll find if you move it too quickly, they drop off. So make sure they're on and they're firm. And then you can form the loop ready for hanging your decoration. So you'll want to turn everything over and glue the end of the ribbon down to form that loop. So simply apply some glue along the length of the ribbon on the back and position your ribbon and glue it in place. So when you turn that over, it's starting to look like it's ready to form a snowman. But if you're anything like me, you'll find you've got a little bit of excess ribbon at the bottom, and you can just trim that off. You could have glued right to the bottom, or you can just trim the excess bit off now. I prefer to just trim it off, then I know I have glued it in properly at the bottom. So it's time to add all his features. So to glue his hat on, I would add the glue to the milk carton top because his hat sticks out a long way over the edge of the carton top. But the other elements, I would apply the glue to those and then position them. So if you're thinking of using any pom-poms or buttons here, now's the time to use those instead of the template. But assuming you're using the template, they're going to go on and they're going to start to build up and form his face, just like this one. So if you're enjoying this video, could you remember to like it for me, please, so we can share it with more people on YouTube and more people can make their funky snowman. And once you've got all those buttons in place, you've got a snowman. Well done. And here's another one that I made, but with a wider ribbon and a red ribbon. So you can see how they look a little bit different depending on the ribbon. So if you're carrying on with me, it's time for Father Christmas. So again, you're going to need your 3 tops, but this time you've painted them red. And you're going to need your template. And you're going to have to cut all the elements out, ready to make your Father Christmas. Once you've got them all, we're going to need your red pipe cleaner. Mine's about 12 inches, and that's allowing me to make this Santa Claus out of 1 pipe cleaner. So fold it in half and cut it in half. And that's going to be 1/2 for the arms and 1/2 for the legs. So the legs, fold your bit of pipe cleaner in half again, and you're going to form a V. And you can see that's going to make a pair of legs. And then the other one for his arms. So let's get his actual body ready. Again, you're going to need a ribbon. Make sure it's the right length and that you've got plenty to form a loop so that you can hang your Father Christmas from the tree and cut your ribbon to length. If you're watching this whole video, you're going to see things repeated, but it is split into chapters, so people are jumping in and out and just doing the snowman, just doing Father Christmas, or just doing Rudolf. So that's why the repeatable bits are repeated. So you're going to apply some glue to the bottom of the bottom carton top, and you're just going to do it on either side, and then stick that to one end of the ribbon. And I recommend not going right to the end of the ribbon so that you're sure it sticks on both sides securely. Stick that on just like that. And then once you've got that one on, give it a good firm, make sure it's secure. You're going to repeat for the middle one, exactly the same process, and just leaving a small gap between them. And then repeat again, leaving a small gap. And then form that loop and glue the end of the ribbon down so that it's nice and secure and your gluing's hidden behind his head. So just make sure you get it secure, and it can be worth letting this dry as you're going along, or you can just keep going. If you're using a multi-purpose glue, it'll probably just hold anyway. And then the little bit you've left at the bottom, just trim it off. We don't need that. It was only to make sure we got it nice and secure. So you can start building your Father Christmas. You've got his head and you've got his body. Now we can add all his detail. So the first thing you're going to think about is his legs. So we're going to make them and then glue them on. So you've already made a V for his legs, and you're simply going to glue a boot onto the end of either leg. Just make sure you get the boots both on one side of this pipe cleaner, because you don't want one to be facing you and one the other way. And you want to make sure the boots are facing outwards from Father Christmas so they actually look right and he doesn't look like his toes are pointing inwards once you build him. So there you go, this should look like that. And then we can glue that to the bottom of his body. So it's just going to rest under there like that. So you can adjust his legs and make him how you want him to look. So simply apply some glue to that bottom edge and then glue the pipe cleaner legs in place. So you can place them on. Now make sure they're where you want them. Turn the whole thing over and then you can press it down and make sure it's secure. And that his legs look how you want and he's not all wonky. And once you're happy with his legs, you can do his arms. So again, we're going to glue on the detail. So this time you've got a mitten to go on either end. And make sure you put each mitten on the right end and that we've got his thumbs pointing up so that he looks great when he's finished. And you're just going to put a little curve in. It's not a big V like the other one, but a curve so that it goes nicely over that middle carton top. And then once you're happy, glue it in place, turn it over, make sure you are happy. And then you can add his belt, which sits between the lower two carton tops. Just glue that on. And then all you've got left to do is apply his face and his beard and hat all in one go. So you're going to glue that in place and you've got a Father Christmas. Well done. And there's the other Santa Claus I made with a slightly wider ribbon. So good luck with yours. So if you're still with me or you're just joining me, we're moving on to Rudolf. So you need to have 3 painted tops that are all brown. And you need to cut out all the elements from the template for Rudolf. And then you need to think about your pipe cleaner, which is about 12 inches long. And if you've got a shorter one, you're just going to need more than one. Cut it in half, and that's going to form both pairs of legs. So once you've got all those elements, it's time to build Rudolf using the ribbon you've chosen. You can use a nice brown ribbon, but I'm going for a gold one. You could use a very wide ribbon, but I've gone for a really narrow one. It's all up to you. Just make sure it's long enough to go behind all 3 carton tops and form a big loop so you can hang Rudolf on your Christmas tree. So the first thing you're going to do is glue one of your carton tops to the bottom of the ribbon. So just put some glue on the back, on the edge, and directly opposite that edge so that it sticks at the top and the bottom. And then place that on the ribbon quite near the bottom. I don't think you should try and get it right at the bottom because you might just miss the bottom of the ribbon. And we will trim the extra off. And then once you've got one in place, leave a small space and glue the next one, and a small space and glue the next one. And then it's time to form your loop by just wrapping your ribbon around the back and gluing it in place. Now if like me you've got a long piece of ribbon, you can just trim it up now, that's okay. And then glue it to the back of the ribbon that's already on the carton tops. And then all that glue and work will be hidden and it'll be securely in place. And then all you've got left to do is to cut the ribbon off the bottom, the extra bit, because you don't want that in the way. And then it's time to build Rudolf onto his body. So we'll start with the bottom set of legs, where you're going to take one of your pipe cleaners, fold it in half to form a V, and then glue a pair of the hooves to the bottom. So simply take your multi-purpose glue and glue them in place. So if you're enjoying this video and enjoying making your dangly Christmas tree decorations, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want any more ideas, check out my YouTube channel and subscribe so you can see all my videos as they arrive. And as you carry on with Rudolf, we're now going to glue those legs right on the bottom of his body. So just turn it over and put some glue on that bottom edge and onto that ribbon. And then you can press the legs onto the body nice and firmly. Turn the whole lot over and you'll be able to press it in place and make sure you're happy with the location of the legs and the way that they look. And then to form the other pair of legs, you're not going to bend it quite so hard, but you are going to put a curve in it. Glue a hoof on either end. And then this time you're going to glue it onto the top of the middle carton top. So apply the glue on the back there, right at the top, and then glue those legs in place. And turn it over and you can see Rudolph's got all 4 legs now. So he's going to need his face. So he's going to want his antlers and his ears, and then his nose, his eyes and his mouth. So you can use the template exactly as is, or you could consider putting a pom-pom or a button on for his nose to make him a little bit more 3D. So you can see I've got 2 here, and look, you could put a pom-pom on one, and if you like that effect, go for it. So good luck with your Rudolph, and I hope you've enjoyed making your snowman, your Father Christmas and your Rudolph. Please give me a thumbs up if you have, and join me on my channel.